Hi, guys. Welcome to Real Food Recovery. We are so glad you are back today. We have a very special guest that I think you are going to really enjoy. Let me tell you about her. We're here with Michelle Pettis. She is a TEDx speaker, a food story coach, and author of the award-winning memoir, Leaving Large, The Stories of a Food Addict. She reveals how emotional wounds, cultural expectations, and personal history, not hunger, often shape how we manage food. After battling emotional overeating for over 4 decades and gaining and losing over 700 pounds, Michelle discovered that the key to lasting weight loss wasn't another diet, it was rewriting the stories behind her eating. With a background in media sales and leadership at companies like Radio One, Disney, ABC, and NPR PBS member stations, Michelle now uses storytelling as a tool for transformation. Through workshops, retreats, and her ebook, Mind Over Meals, she helps others uncover their food truths, rewire their thinking, and create lasting change from the inside out. We are so pleased to have her with us today. And before we go any further, I would love for you just to kind of share a little bit of a background with how did you get to this place to where you're in this seat today? Things must have transpired in your life that led you down this road, and I think people would love to hear your story.
you know, wow. How much time do we have? Um,
We have an hour.
okay, all right. So, Paige, I gotta tell you something. This year marks the 5-year anniversary of my book, Leaving Large: The Stories of a Food Addict.
Mm.
5 years, and the time has gone by so quickly. And I
Mhm.
had no idea when I wrote that book that this would be what my life looks like now.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
And the whole time that I was on this like last leg of my journey, my doctor kept saying to me, "You need to write a book. You need to write a book. You need to write a
Mm.
book." No, no, what she said to me, "You need to write a cookbook." Because every week I would go in, I was losing weight. I'd have some story to share with her, and I was on, and she'd say, "Wait, wait, wait! I have another client coming in. I have another patient coming in. Would you talk to them? Go talk to them, right?" So she said, "But you need to write a cookbook, but it needs to include your stories because your stories are the things that made the difference for you." And she kept saying, "I'm like, no, I don't need to do that. Just give me my shot. Let's wait. I'm out." Right. And then the pandemic hit.
Hmm.
And by the time the pandemic hit, I was about the same size I am right now. And I felt like I had figured it out. But Paige, I hadn't been tested. I hadn't been tested.
Hmm.
And with the pandemic, so many people were saying, "Oh my God, I'm so stressed. I'm eating. I'm just going back and forth to the refrigerator. What are we
Hmm.
going to do?" And I was like, not going back, not going back. Maybe I will try this writing thing, right? And so I sat down to write, and nothing. I and just block, writer's block. So
Oh.
I went to YouTube. I went to YouTube and Googled, how to write a book, right? And the first thing they said on YouTube was pick a lane, pick what it is that you want to write. And so I sat down wanting to write the cookbook because that's what my doctor said. And I sat down wanting to include the stories because that's what my doctor said. And I sat down wanting to like create this COVID diary so I could be authentic because that's what I always heard, that if you're going to write, you need to write from a place of authenticity. And so when they said pick a lane, I was like, oh, this is why I can't write anything because I'm trying to write three things. I need to pick something. Okay. What of these three things am I going to pick? And so I thought about the cookbook and I'm like, why would I write a cookbook? I'm not a chef. I'm not trained. If I want somebody to buy, why would they buy mine? They wouldn't. So cookbook off the list. Then I looked at that authentic 90-day diary thing. You talk about a snoozer. I was like, I'm bored myself. Why on earth would anybody read this? So, so that, and the only thing was left was the stories. And that was what my doctor had said in the first place. She said, right, but you need to write the stories because your stories are the thing that made the difference.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Your stories
Hmm.
are the things that made the difference. And when I sat down to write the stories just coming. They kept coming. They just kept coming. I couldn't get out of the way of them, really. And
Hmm.
and in that writing, what I realized that in my 40-year struggle page of losing 30 and gaining 40, losing 40 and gaining 50, that's
Hmm.
700 pounds, that 40 years. And
Hmm.
all those 40 years, I never wrote. I
Hmm.
just looked at what could I eat and how much of it could I have. I
Right.
never got the sleep. I never got the water.
Hmm.
I never did any of those things that are
Hmm.
foundational, that are supportive, that I realize now were important. I
Hmm.
never did the things that allowed me to change my thinking, that changed my beliefs about why I was eating. I didn't even know I didn't even realize that that was part of the process. Because
Right.
when you go to the doctors, they say, cut out fried foods, right? Get some exercise, do these things, keep a journal along with some. I mean, they barely mention keep a journal.
Right.
And it is the most important thing because it is the thing that gets to our belief system. And it is our belief system about food that drives how we behave around it. And
Hmm.
nobody tells us that that's what the connection is. That is our
Hmm.
thoughts about the food, our beliefs about the food. And when we change that, and while I understand obesity and food addiction is a complex issue, but at the root of it is our thinking, it is
Oh
our
yeah.
feeling. And all that stuff is connected, and nobody tells us or teaches us how to unravel it and how important it is to unravel that. So
Hmm.
I wrote the book. So
Leaving large.
yeah, leaving large, story by story. And 5 years later, 5 years later, I'm here.
Bada boom,
That
bada bing.
bada boom, bada bang.
Yeah. I, I'm going to do a side note here and then we're going to jump back into what
Okay.
we're having. But so are you a recipe creator? I only ask because I also have a food blog, Fitness by Paige, where I
Mm-hmm.
take these single ingredient foods and create recipes just as a creative outlet and
Mm-hmm.
to prove that clean food isn't boring and I love my food. But that is just a side note. But do you have a recipe book? Are you a big recipe creator?
I'm yes and no. Like my new kick right now is beans. That
Yeah.
beans. I I
Hmm.
I think beans are a superfood.
Yeah.
And my new kick right now is right is being fascinated by how food drives this culture in just ways that people don't even think about. And here's what I mean. I'm in Maryland right now. We're in the midst of this big ice storm and this big
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah, we're in Kansas and this is my third day in the house.
Okay, all right. So we're here. We're here. And so a couple of days, thinking about leading up to this, I went to the grocery store and the shelves were barren.
Yep.
All the bread, all the eggs, all the put a bread, eggs. What's the other thing that people milk? All the bread,
Mm-hmm.
all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about this. I said, I don't understand why people are so afraid of not having food when they have a house full of food.
Right.
And I don't understand what the panic is because if most people shop once a week for
Mm-hmm.
groceries, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And if the storm comes and the storm lasts 3 days,
Right.
or even if it lasts 5 days, if you're only going to the grocery store once a week, you still got 2 more days before you
Yeah.
would normally go anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So this madness of people being afraid to be hungry. So I can understand water if you want to run out of water, stuff like that. But why this raid? What if every time a storm came, it was something like this, people said, oh, the storm is coming. We're gonna fast. this is it's a perfect time for us to just fast and cleanse. I mean, cleanses and fast, they're real big right now, right? People do that as a way
It's cool.
of centering themselves. What if they just thought, okay, that what we'll do is we'll fast. It that so so I think about, you know what I also think about? I think about appetizers. I think
Do
about
tell. Do tell.
why do appetizers exist? I
I
mean,
know.
really, why do they even exist? Here's the food to eat. Here's the food to eat before the food
I,
comes.
can I tell you something? I'm invited to a dinner party this Saturday, and it's like a Mexican potluck, and the girl in charge assigned me appetizers of cheese and fruits, which I'm like, good, because I'll just take home whatever people don't eat, and I'm not doing anything with dips or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can use the leftovers in my smoothies, or I can safely use those. But I looked at the list of everything else that people are bringing. I'm like, why do we need my fruit and cheese plate? That's good because whatever I'm bringing, I'm going to make sure that I've got recipe ideas for next week that I can use those in. But we don't need that. We do not need that. But anyway, I sidetracked again because getting together for some reason means how much can we eat? And I don't, why does it have to be that? I don't know.
Because the food manufacturers have told us that that's what it's supposed to be.
Hmm.
It has been consistent manage it has been consistent messaging and advertising over time that has convinced us that an event is not an event is not successful, an event is not good unless food is at the center of it.
Yeah,
It's
the
lots of it.
entertainment.
It's entertainment,
Yeah,
yes.
it's just such gluttony. I mean, food is one thing, but this level of overkill is just literally killing us. The
Yeah.
overkill is killing us.
Yeah, the overkill is, yeah, it is. And it's being normalized, right? It's normalized because we
Hmm.
see it all the time. Oh,
Hmm.
bring this. I mean, you're right. And it's that, and then it becomes an expression of status too, not just entertainment of status, but status as well. So we connected to it. Oh my God, we had so much food,
Yeah.
right? We had
Hmm.
everything, right. So it becomes an expression of status, of entertainment, and of hospitality. Oh, we don't want to run out of this, because if we run
Hmm.
out of this, then people will think that we aren't gracious, that we aren't good hosts. Or so it
Hmm.
food has gotten to this place where it means something other than nutrition and nourishment.
Right. And then every single person at the party says, I'm so miserable, right? Everybody leaving miserable.
And we don't
Thanks
make
for
we don't make
coming.
we don't make the connection. But
Right.
it, because our brains, our minds have been hijacked to think that food must be at the center of everything. At the
Hmm.
everything. And I tell you, here's, like, I know you asked about recipes and we're kind of like off on a tangent, but here's one of the things that just, I don't know. Is it gets in my craw? Is that the thing? But it sends me
Tell
someplace.
me. I can't wait to hear.
Okay, right. So I saw this advertising a couple of months ago, and it was for Red Lobster. And the new head of Red Lobster came on, and he talked about how things were turning around at Red Lobster. And they, presumably, I did a little bit of reading, they brought him in to turn around the image of the chain. You're going to
Hmm.
come here and you're going to see new this, and you're going to see new this, and you're going to see new this, and we're moving in a different direction, all better for you. But there's some things that haven't changed, and it is our Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Yeah, I was waiting for that punchline to drop. Yeah, go ahead.
Is our cheddar. And understand, in the old days, I have been to a Red Lobster and eaten a couple of baskets of those things,
Oh yeah.
very easily,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
And
talk about
so,
ultra processed.
right. And so he picks up the biscuit and talks about how you can count on this biscuit and how it hasn't changed. And, he just, and Paige, he just picks it up and holds it up to his face. He doesn't eat it. And you can look at him and see he is a trim, fit, healthy looking
Mm-hmm.
dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm. He ain't eating the biscuits.
he ain't eating the biscuits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't mind marketing it. He still wants to make money off you eating them, and the medical society will make money off of you eating them, and long-term healthcare will make money off of you
Right,
eating them.
right. That, that.
Yeah. I before we leave the recipe arena, I wanted to bring up a conversation I had with someone. I post reels every day on our social media with just different healthy tips. And like I said,
You do them every day. You are
every
good
day,
work
girl,
every
every
day.
day. It's a
Uh,
full-time job, but it is a passion project because I'm so motivated to help society to get out of the depths of hell. I mean, and it's got to start with education, right?
yes,
It's got
yes, yes.
awareness and education has to be the first step. And so I posted a recipe. I think it was last Friday because I knew I was going to be in for the weekend and I made this shrimp corn chowder, all
Hmm.
single ingredient
Hmm.
foods in there. And somebody messaged me and said, I don't understand what you mean by single ingredient foods because, like, do you mean bread? And I said, no, I don't eat bread. And I thought she meant like Wonder Bread, something like that. And she said, well, I mean, I make my bread from all single ingredients at home. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay, let's back up, back up, back up. Like for my soup, for instance, that she had questioned, everything in there was like, not fruits, but vegetables and chicken broth and shrimp and things like that. So I don't mind if your ingredients are a compilation of just single ingredients. I don't call that process. I'm talking about things that can last for several weeks. You want to eat foods that will rot, that have
Hmm.
had sunshine and water as part of their growing process, that Mother Nature was involved in some
Right.
way. If
Hmm.
you get canned, if it has one, two, or three ingredients like a canned tuna or a canned vegetable.
Hmm.
I use
Hmm.
coconut milk, or there might be a dairy product if depends on what your feelings are about dairy. But if
Hmm.
there's ingredients that you can't pronounce and you don't know what it is, that's been processed, highly
Yes.
processed. And so your body doesn't recognize it, is what I'm trying to tell you. Your body was designed to eat single ingredient foods. And when you give it things that it doesn't recognize, it's going to spit and sputter and it's not going to perform appropriately. And also, when we're using food for reasons other than nutrition, we're giving food a bigger job than it was ever designed to do, like we were talking about
Absolutely.
with the entertainment. So I just
Absolutely.
wanted to make that when it came up about recipes, I just wanted to make it clear about,
Okay.
yes,
What you meant.
I put
What you meant.
single ingredients together, but I'm not using processed food. If I were to make some type of a bread, it would just be
Mhm.
with grains and, oats and eggs and things like that. But anyway,
Got
I
it.
got off on a tangent
That's okay.
now, but that's why I was just curious about your recipes. I was going to
But
quiz you how you
but you
approach
brought
that.
but you brought up a very good point, and we'll get back to the recipes about understanding and knowing what we eat. And I think about, everything I talk about is through the lens of my own ignorance for so long, really. And I
Hmm.
think about the number of times I might have said to myself, "Oh my goodness, this is so good. I don't know what's in it, but it sure is good."
Oh, I love that. Yes, exactly. You do not know what's in it. Otherwise, you would not be eating it.
Right, but why wouldn't I think to know that it's important that I know what's in it? Because
Hmm.
we are too trusting.
Hmm.
We believe just because it came from Whole Foods it won't kill us. We believe that just because
Hmm.
it came from the grocery store or from some place, some
Right.
trusted source,
Trust.
that it's okay, and it's not. And
Hmm.
just to have that statement, and where to know,
Hmm.
like, I mean, I remember going out to like some event, and it was a breakfast, and we were at a lovely upscale hotel, and they brought out the breakfast, and there was something on the plate that I could not identify. It was a little something, and so I asked the person next to me, "Do you know what that is?" And the person didn't know what it was. And so she tasted it and she still wasn't able to tell me what it was. And I left it on the plate. To this day, I don't know what it was. But I think about all the times in the past where I would have eaten it just because it was there. She seemed to
Oh
think it
yeah.
tastes okay, but to eat it and ha- not know what it is, that level of darkness that is pushed on us, not to even question, not to even. And so
Right.
I'm in this place right now. I question everything. You
Well,
know,
yeah. Yeah,
cook a
because you think if the manufacturer's selling it, there's got to be some standards, right? They're going to keep nobody's going to harm us with the food, right?
yeah, keep thinking that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Keep thinking that. But
Mm-hmm.
so on the cooking thing, I have really gotten to the place where I don't do a lot of cooking. I eat whole foods, right?
Yeah.
I'll eat the raw foods, a lot of raw foods. I'll eat the apple, I'll eat
Oh.
the banana, I'll eat the carrots, and I'll eat the nuts out. I because
Mm-hmm.
once I'm full, I don't think about the food anymore, right? Once I'm full,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it kind of doesn't even really matter. But I eat out. I don't know. I eat out regularly, but I have a few places that I go where I
Right.
get the same thing, and I
Uh-huh.
and I know what the thing is, and the servers know. Like there's one place here
I'll have
that
the regular.
I'm a regular. There's one place here that I really like. They have a house salad that I have them add onions, I have them add avocado, and I have them add anchovies. And I have them take off the croutons. I don't get the cornbread. I put a little dressing on the side. And I go
Mm-hmm.
in and they were like, "Your regular?" Yes, my regular. And then it comes, I put half of it in the container because now I'm gonna eat the other
Yes.
later because it's enough food for 6 people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
it's
I have a place I go to where I rarely go out because I always know my stomach's gonna hurt because I don't know what is in it. But I found like this stir fry place that I can get something and it's just vegetables and chicken and rice. And so what I do is I ask for double the protein and I put half away and I've got lunch for the next day and the sauces on the side. And I feel fine and it doesn't trigger anything weird once I leave. So I do think it's part of our job to shop around to
mhm,
find places that because I mean I want people to live.
right.
But you need to find places that are safe for you because safety is our number one job.
Absolutely.
So it just takes work. It just takes work if you want to do it. Same with like the recipes I'm talking about. Some people just can say, "Hey, I'm just going to eat a vegetable and a protein or whatever. I'm not going to go to that trouble." That's fine if that works for you. But I like some creativity and I like sharing fun ideas with people because they get bored sometimes. So everybody has their
But
own lane.
but you know what, Paige, what has happened is, and I cook sometimes. I just like creative. I get you. I get you on that. I appreciate that. But what has happened is the fast food, the snack food, and the junk
Mm.
food manufacturers have tricked us once again. They have told us that cooking is inconvenient. They have
Right.
told us that eating should be fast. It should be quick.
Mm-hmm.
It should be that.
Mm-hmm.
They have told us that our health and our lives are not worth it to
Yep.
take the time to
Mm-hmm.
make nutritious choices, slow
Mm-hmm.
choices. That's now our life is not important. What's important
Mm-hmm.
is convenience.
Mm-hmm.
What is important is quickness. And so
Mm-hmm.
we have to take that back because that has been given to us. That has been
Mm-hmm.
pushed upon us. Oh, I don't have time to cook. I mean, what does that
Mm-hmm.
mean? I don't have time to cook. If you understand that food is your life, food is your life and the life of your family, you're saying, I don't have time to do those things that support my life and the life of my family. Why
Yeah.
don't I do that?
You know what I don't have time for and what isn't convenient is heart disease, obesity, inflammation, cancer. Those are time consuming. Those are
Yes,
inconvenient. You know how
yes.
I told you on Friday, when the storm was starting, I started on my shrimp corn chowder. I
Mm-hmm.
made enough for 6 meals.
Mm-hmm.
So when I cook, I know I've got the rest of my dinners lined out. And
Mm,
this morning, I finished making my salad that I make. I have 1 pound of raw salad every day, and then I put whatever toppings on it. I made a week's worth of that. The day before, I'd make my protein shakes for the whole week. So
mhm,
I've learned how to manage my time well
mhm,
with doing food prep. And so during the day, I'm just pulling containers out of the refrigerator. There's nothing faster than doing food prep and having everything ready.
yes.
It's a foolproof system. It's actually my number one tip for staying clean and off the processed food
Mhm.
and staying full and satiated. I love everything I eat, but that has always been my number one tip for
Yes.
abstinence.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love what you said about the protein shake. All right. So I am, I am going to give you my recipe
Go girl.
for the hot, healthy hot chocolate. Hot, healthy hot chocolate. Okay. So whatever chocolate protein powder you use that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you use whatever milk you use, if you use some sort of plant milk, that you got that right.
Mm-hmm.
Your powder, your powder,
Milk.
your plant milk, then cayenne pepper to
Woo!
taste, cinnamon to taste, right? Lots of cinnamon. I put a little bit of cardamom in mine too, right?
Oh,
Yes, right. And
okay.
then I put an extra scoop of cocoa because
Oh,
I like it chocolatey.
okay.
Yeah. So
Protein powder, milk, cayenne pepper, cumin, no, cinnamon,
cinnamon.
cardamom, and
Hmm.
cocoa powder.
Hmm.
Sounds divine. I have a hundred
Shake it up.
percent. Oh, go
Shake
ahead.
it up. I'm not done. No, you shake it
Oh,
up. Yeah, yeah, you shake it up, get it all frothy. You microwave it or boil do however you warm it up. And then afterwards, a little bit of vanilla on top.
ooh. Nice. And see, we can find ways to make healthy food fun, right?
Hmm.
That's my mission. I never feel deprived. If you feel deprived, you're doing something wrong because there's so many beautiful flavors out there
Yes.
that are natural. And the other beautiful thing is your body's taste buds will change
Hey,
back to
yes.
the natural factory settings, and you are going to love, 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 love these flavors. They're going to be rich and beautiful and powerful. I never ever feel deprived. In fact, I was reading one of Dr. Mark Hyman's emails today about
Hmm.
eating the colors of the rainbow and how,
Hmm.
what you get from broccoli with the phytonutrients you don't get with the onions or the carrots. They just each give you something different, and eating all those different things are really so critical to our health
Yes.
and well-being. So
Yes.
I love that. And that's a prime example of what I was talking about of making healthy food fun and delicious. And for us, I like to be creative too. It just feels that it's fulfilling. It
Hmm.
gives us a nice little dopamine, lovely hit with the creativity, and it just makes it enjoyable. And it's even more funner, in air quotes, to share it with other people, which is why I have my food blog with 2,000 recipes on it.
I love it. I,
Um, Go ahead.
um, that's the hot chocolate.
Yep.
That's the the hot healthy hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And I have that almost every day.
Nice. That's for your breakfast?
Mm-hmm. For
Perfect.
breakfast. Yeah, and it makes 2 cups. Let's see, I would show you my cup, but my cup is all chocolate.
Oh, it is. Oh, I love that. I wish you guys could. Those of you that are watching on YouTube will get to see her cup. That is, it flow. Her cup floweth over, people.
Right,
In a good way, in all good ways. But
right.
that's going to take some
Right.
scrubbing to clean up.
Oh
That's
my
all I
God.
know.
Oh God. So yeah, it's that. So that is one of my one of my favorite recipes. And my other favorite recipe is salmon.
Oh, yeah. Love
Salmon.
it.
Yeah. So what I do is I'll take the canned salmon and I'll like dump a whole bunch of vegetables in it, right? More, maybe two times as many vegetables as salmon, right? And so it's the green peppers, the red peppers, the yellow peppers, some onions, some celery, saute all that up. And then you know what I do? I
Do
add a
tell.
sweet potato to it,
Nice.
mashed sweet potato, which binds it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to use the egg, and it adds another layer of flavor. And then you can take that and you can make it whatever flavor you want. So if you like
Mm-hmm.
Italian, you can put Italian seasonings in
Yeah.
it. If you like Mexican, you can make it
Yeah.
Mexican. I'm a I'm a Cajun cayenne hot pepper kind of chick. That all mine are that.
Mm-hmm.
And little scoop, if you want, however you want to brown them, if you want to do it in the oven and broil them, or if you want to, put them on top, do them on top and not sear them, but use a little oil
Broil.
like
Mm-hmm.
olive oil or avocado oil or whatever to brown them. It yummy. The
Perfect.
thing is that when you get the salmon cake, you get everything. You got right. So
Yeah.
you've got your starch, you've got
Yeah.
your vegetables, and you've got your protein in the salmon cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love the balanced diet. We at Real Food Recovery, we don't ever tell people what to eat. You could be vegan or carnivore, whatever floats your boat, because I can't tell you what works for your body. But for me, I just do a balanced diet, trying to eat as many colors as possible and
Mhm.
just have a variety standard of I don't do anything extreme because for me, I have found that I can't stick to that and
Mhm.
I want to have apples. Whatever program I eat, I just want to make sure I have my Cosmic Crisp apples and I'm a happier person. Are those an apple chip?
No, not the
Oh,
apple
those are
core. I mean,
cores. Oh, yeah. What's your favorite type of apple?
oh my gosh. Oh, there are so many, but maybe the Honey Crisp probably
Yeah, the
is
Honey Crisp are good. Yeah, the
right.
Cosmic Crisp are rather new in the past year or so that I've noticed. And once tried those, I mean, so to me, talking about taste buds, my taste buds have changed enough to where that is sweet enough, and I'm so satisfied with
Yeah.
that. And I just feel great
Yes.
after that. So this kind of leads into an area that people that are listening and struggling or feel stuck that they want to eat better, they want to do better, they want to get off the ultra processed foods, but it's hard and then they try to eat clean and they'll end up returning back to the ultra processed foods. Talk about that cycling. What would you tell somebody who's trying, but they just can't
Yes.
quite
Yes.
stick to
Yes.
it?
Yes. So the first thing I would say is stop trying to use willpower, self control, and self discipline. Stop beating yourself up for that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
get once you start getting like some basic understanding that they design the processed foods to be addictive, then you can give yourself some grace to release yourself from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And understand that it's a process. So, and it's a lot depending on how much stuff you're dealing with. But I think that there's like a twofold approach. No, not really a threefold approach that I see. Once you just have a fundamental understanding, you just keep saying over and over again and writing over and over again and affirming and thinking over and over again that the purpose of food is nutrition and nourishment.
Mm-hmm.
Nutrition, nourishment, energy. That is its purpose. That is its
Mm-hmm.
purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to look at everything through that lens.
Mm-hmm.
So, are these Oreos nutritious and nourishing? Are the Reese's peanut butter cups nutritious and nourishing? Are the apple chips nutritious and nourishing? No, they're not. Right? And that becomes conscious. That become, you know, that be we have to. start asking ourselves, like, really hard critical questions in front of everything we eat. Before everything, we have to pause and stop and do that work. There is that work that's involved, and that doesn't mean that sometimes you might not still eat the thing, but you'll never ever eat the thing again and not be conscious and aware. And so the very first step to making the transformation is to be aware. And so maybe in this phase of evaluation, what I call evaluate, ask, and think, instead of eating the bag of chips that has 5 servings in the one bag,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe what you'll do is maybe you won't eat the whole bag. Maybe you
Mm-hmm.
maybe you start to think, oh, I don't need this, and you'll be able to throw it away because you'll
Mm-hmm.
you'll start to get the information. It'll start to continue to sink into your head that this is poison, this is poison. So as you start to go back and say, but my mother used to always put these chips in my lunch when I was a kid. Well, you know what? You're not 8 anymore. I'm not 8.
It sounds like you're describing harm reduction a little bit. That's a place to start. For some people, harm reduction may be the place to start.
Yes.
And I don't think that's necessarily a bad approach, other than I have found when it comes to sugar, that's the one place that I can't just uh, back off. I have to go cold turkey on that. I can't reduce
Yeah.
on that one
Yeah.
because once I get one sniff of that, the whole sleeve of Girl Scout cookies is
Right. It's gone.
one.
It's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. I rank very high when it comes to sugar addiction, but you
Mm-hmm.
can maybe titrate off some of the other things, and I don't mind that messaging of just try to cut back or substitute or things like that
Well,
with other things other than sugar.
okay, so here's the thing that helped me with Paige, that helped me with my sugar addiction, is that when I go through the questions, I have a series of questions that I use now and that I use when I'm coaching people. Why this food now? Why this particular food right now? Is this really food, right? And if this is not going to give me the body, the life, the health that I say I want, why am I eating it? So
Hmm.
those questions are just like a beginning point to create a pause, just to create a
Right.
pause.
I love
But
that.
one of the things that I write about in my book is, there was a time when I remember this so clearly. I went to a Shoppers Food Warehouse, which is a big grocery store here. It used to be a big grocery store here in the area where I live. And I wanted bran muffins. I wanted bran muffins. And they sold bran muffins along with a couple of other places. And they sold the ones that were this big,
Right.
where the one muffin is 600
Yeah.
calories. And they
Uh-huh.
tell and they tell you serving size a half a muffin or a quarter of a muffin or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
Right?
that's for quitters. We're not quitters.
Right, right. And so I went to the store. I bought the brand muffins. I went out to my car and I ate the full four
Yeah.
pack of brand muffins while I was
Yep.
in the car. And I did
Easy.
not stop until the pack was empty. And I was like, right. And as I was unpacking this when I was writing my book, I thought to myself, what was going on with that?
Yeah.
What why this food now? Because if it was just about the sugar, I could have eaten a bag of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just about the sugar, I could have gotten blueberry muffins. I could have
Mm-hmm.
gotten Oreos. I could have gotten anything, but it was something about those brand muffins, including the sugar. And so I
That's right.
sat and this is why it's so important for us to get to our story, to understand what the connection is that we make
Right.
to these foods. My grandmother loved brand muffins.
Mm-hmm.
She made them all the time. My
Mm-hmm.
grandmother was my safe place. There was
Mm-hmm.
something that was, I don't know what it is right now. I can't even tell you what it is, but there was
Mm-hmm.
something that was going on in my life at that point that was
Mm-hmm.
stressful for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to feel a connection to the safety that she provided.
Right.
And it was
Right.
through those brand muffins. And it was
Mm-hmm.
breakfast. I was probably hungry. I mean, so there was, that was not the only thing. There were multiple things going on, but it was that. And
Mm-hmm.
so all the muffins, because it would, I mean, sugar was the second ingredient, I'm sure, in all of them. So now it's addictive. Now I
Mm-hmm.
can't stop. Then it had
Yeah.
all the other stuff in it. So all those things converged in that one place.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I don't think I've had a brand muffin since then. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I know I haven't had one since 2017, and no desire to have one.
Mm-hmm.
Because once we're able to make the connection, figure out what the connection is of the food is to the memory. Once we're able to make that connection, then we can go directly to the memory and bypass the food.
Mm-hmm.
But until we're able to make the connection and understand what it means, we'll always be thinking that we need the food to have the feeling, and we don't.
Yeah.
All we need is the memory.
Yeah. I have to tell you, when you were telling that story, I actually got a lump in my throat. I had a visceral reaction picturing you there in the parking lot doing that because obviously brings up memories of me doing things like that. And it is such a dark, hopeless, scary, traumatic place to have done that. And you're like, I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I can't stop eating. I am sick to my stomach, but there's still some left, so I have to keep going. My brain will not allow me to quit. And it is the most severe mental pain I've ever been in, to be in those binges where you literally physically cannot stop and you don't know why. It's almost like something's controlling.
Yes.
I feel like I've lifted out of my body and I'm watching the scene. I'm disassociated, completely
Mm-hmm.
disassociated from myself. And it's what I call the monsters come out of the closet, and it's so scary. You're re-traumatizing yourself every time it
Mm-hmm.
happens because you don't always know when it's coming. You don't know when it's going to stop. While you're in it, you're trying to rationalize how am I going to make up for all these calories? I'm not going to be able to eat for days. That's going to hurt so bad. I'm so depressed. I hate myself. I mean, all that stuff. When you're telling me that, immediately, I feel it in my gut whenever you're telling that story. It takes me right to that place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's
as
really,
well as the people listening, I'm sure.
yeah.
Do you want to talk about how, when we have, I call them side steps because it sounds better than binges,
Mhm.
what we do about that? How do we pull out of that? How do we make sense of it? How do we help ourselves so it's not all for naught?
Yeah. 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 So when I look back on it, because it has been a long time since I've had a binge, a long, long time, and being able to go through that story process is a tool that I have found that has been invaluable. And the work is this, because it's going to come up, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
that we can't beat ourselves up when it happens. But what we can do is, after it happens, look at the situation
Yeah.
and think about what what needed, what things could have been in place to to protect me. What things
Mm-hmm.
need to be in place next time so that
Mm-hmm.
I feel more protected. And so
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's, I don't, in the case of the brand muffins, I don't drive that way to work. I
Totally.
don't,
I've told people that before too. Go a different way.
I go a different route, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe it's have something else. Have a bag of apples, right?
Mm, yeah.
Have have a, always have a safe food, because maybe it's just, you can't. So here's what I realized that my issue was: I was eating too much of the wrong stuff for the wrong reasons, and I was doing it unconsciously.
Oh
Those
yeah.
four things.
Mm-hmm.
And so to systematically break down those four things. So if you change the consciousness
Mm-hmm.
and you change the reason, you work on consciousness and reason, it will make the thing and the amount of the thing easier to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So breaking it down. All right. So if I'm feeling some kind of way, I'm feeling stressed. Why, what what took me there? Can I sit with that? Can I
Mm-hmm.
sit with that and figure out what I'm really hungry for?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that I really want? What did I really want in that moment?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. I think you're describing impulse control, which is the key to freedom here.
Yes,
It's all
absolutely.
under the umbrella of impulse control when it comes
Yes.
to recovery and staying in that future self place. I think I told you my husband recently passed. It was 12 weeks ago today. And
Oh my
I
goodness,
hadn't,
no. I'm
oh,
so sorry.
okay. Yeah,
Oh.
thank you. And so during that time period, I had a couple of side steps like I haven't had in years,
Mm,
years. And I'm like, what is going on? That I still, the day of the funeral, I had gotten through the entire day, and there's, the luncheon at the church and all the goodies that they bring, and people had been bringing food in, and it's always heavy on the stuff. And homemade chocolate chip cookies are my number one all time. So I had gotten through the viewing, the funeral, the few days before, and it came to the night of the funeral, and I was at my daughter's house. It was just she and her husband and me, and we had had dinner. I had had plenty of food. All of a sudden, that big tray of homemade chocolate chip cookies, I took one, and then I had 10. I'm like, what am I doing? What
mhm.
am I doing? But so, yeah, the stress, sometimes life is bigger than we are. But the thing that I wanted to point out is that sometimes we measure our success in what the day after looks like.
Mhm.
And so yes, it was a sidestep, but it wasn't a week long. It wasn't
Right.
days long. It was
Absolutely.
that incident, and I was able to gain control back the next day,
Mhm.
which, so what do I do? I need to focus on the win. The
Yeah.
win was if I just had a couple during like the biggest stress of my entire life.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
But what does that look like? I mean, that hasn't happened since. So
Mhm.
now it's been 12 weeks, and I'm not in that high intensity situation again because we're not robots.
No,
Things will
not at all.
happen that I mean, it's just so far past what your nervous system can handle. But sometimes I think it's nice to just focus on, okay, that happened. Let's giddy up on down the road. What am I going to do next? What
What
does
am I
it
going
look
to do
like?
next?
What does it look like to pick my bootstraps on and pick my bootstraps up and move on? What did I learn? What's my takeaway? How can I look at this with gentle curiosity without the shame? Tell me about what you think shame does to us in while we're trying to recover from this.
Mm. Oh, that shame question it is so deep, and it is so big. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you about this. Shame keeps you in silence. Shame keeps you in darkness. Shame
Mm-hmm.
makes you think that you're the only one. Shame makes you feel
Yes.
like that 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 it's your fault, right? And that there's this that
Yes.
is this that is this that is this deep darkness that is unfixable. Right? It is unfixable. And part of my story page is, and I don't even know if you know this or not. Maybe I don't know, but part of my story is I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse,
I did
and
not. I'm sorry
the
about that.
more oh thank you, but the more I do this research, the more I find that this is something that impacts a lot of us that struggle with food addiction and obesity. And it's not something that is talked about, nor is it that the thread is pulled through. But what it tells you, not just me, but so many others that I've talked to, is that you don't matter, your voice doesn't matter, and you don't have any power. You don't matter, your voice doesn't matter, and you don't have any power. And
Mm-hmm.
so you learn that from an early age, and then that
Mm-hmm.
impacts you in so many ways that aren't even that's not even really connected to the food, right? And it's not connected to the food. It's connected to your ability just to process life. So that happened to me. I went off to college, and I was this came up when I was just thinking about my college experience. And I think, I know two people from college. I was in college for 5.5 years. I took the long route. How could I be in an institution with over 20,000 people and come out with two friends? What happened? Something must have happened. And that, and Paige, I just figured this out a couple of years ago. I've been doing this work for a little while, pulling back the layers. And
Hmm.
a lot of my weight issues started to show up in
Yes.
college.
Yeah.
So I go to this event, and this girl accuses me of stealing her earrings. Now,
Oh.
understand this: when I went out to college, I was straight off the farm. I wasn't blinged up like I am now. I didn't even wear jewelry. So
Uh-huh.
I said, I didn't take your earrings. Yes, you did. And she was a big girl. Yes, you did. You were the only one in there. And she pointed
Oh.
this accusing finger at me, told me I stole her earrings. I ran back to the dorm mortified. I called my grandmother, and my grandmother said, well, first of all, I sent you there to get your education. I didn't send you there to be going out to parties. But since she said that, just don't hang around her. And what I heard was, don't hang around them. Don't
Mm,
hang around them. And so my world got small. My world
mm,
got small because I thought people would believe her and not
ah,
me, because my
mhm,
voice didn't matter. And if you think
mhm,
that your truth doesn't matter, if you grow up believing that your truth doesn't matter and the truth always wants to push out, but you don't think it matters, then you're using the sweetie, salty, starchy, fatty stuff to keep trying to punch it down. And you keep
mhm.
doing it, and it's unconscious, and you don't understand why. And then the
Yeah.
next year, I took two writing classes. One teacher said, "Oh, Michelle, you're a great writer." Another teacher said, "Oh, Michelle, you're not a very good writer." I maybe
Oh.
just wasn't her cup of tea. Paige, my book has won awards,
Mhm,
but for 40 years, I didn't write because I believe the
mhm,
teacher that said you're not a very good writer, because I
mhm,
didn't believe that my voice mattered. I didn't believe I had anything to say.
mhm. Right.
And
Which,
so the shame of that, the shame of being exposed, the shame of having my frailties, all the stuff that's wrong with me being in the light, that this abuser told me that I was nothing, being
mm,
ashamed of being nothing, right? Because if you were something, then your voice would matter. If you were
mhm.
something, then you would matter. If you were something, if you were important, right?
Yeah.
That is just stripped away from you.
Yeah.
It is
And
it
I
is
Yeah, and I love what you said about feeling powerless because I think so often in people that are suffering from the ultra processed food use disorder feel powerless. I
Yeah.
don't have a choice. I don't know when the monsters are going to come out, and when they do, I just have to go into the fetal position until it's over and then figure it out then because I have no power. And so that is a good place where we start to fight back at Real Food Recovery is you do have a choice and you're stronger than you think and your voice does matter. It's the most important voice in the room, but not everybody knows that. And sometimes you have to learn that through the school of hard knocks, just like
and
you're talking about you did.
you learn it, you learn it through the school of hard knocks, but you also learn it in a community. You learn it in a
Yes.
compassionate, safe
Yes.
community that
Hmm.
listens to you, that
Yes.
says, "Sis, I got you," that lifts you
Hmm.
up, that says, "I've been there. I've been there too." That here's what it looks like on the other side. That was a lie.
Yeah.
That is not the truth about you. And you start hearing that over and over again. You start
Hmm.
getting affirmed, and
Yeah.
through that process of being connected to others, you can start to bloom and come into yourself. But you do it. That's why we need each other on this road to recovery, because the only voices
Yeah.
that we have when we're trying to fight this, if we try to fight it alone, are the voices that are in our head that tell us we can't do it.
Right.
And that's why you can't do it alone.
Right. And don't you feel like, I don't know about you, but for me, until like 5 years ago when I started on this journey. I wasn't telling any of my girlfriends about what I was doing, having these sugar binges a couple times a month. You think I was talking about that? And I certainly hadn't heard any of my friends saying that they were doing that. I just assumed it was just me and there was something wrong with me. I never knew why they were happening. I knew because I was so super successful in every other area of my life, extremely controlled, extremely rigid, structured, on top of everything other than this one area that I felt at the time like I had zero control over
Yes.
what was happening, but I had never told a soul. I mean, I might
Yes.
have joked about it. Oh, I just can't have one cookie, but never really said, hey, I think there's a problem here. I
Mm-hmm.
really just thought it was me. So, yes, the connection makes a huge difference to know you're not alone. I
Yeah.
mean, were you telling people? I didn't even
Oh
have the
no.
verbiage to tell people.
Well,
I wouldn't even know what to say.
so you know what? I just thought I loved food more than everybody else.
That's me too. And I had no willpower.
Yeah.
I was just a pig and I had no
Yeah.
willpower.
Yeah. 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 That's what I thought.
Well, I've
Yeah.
used up all your time. I really appreciate it. But before we go, is there one thing that for people who are listening right now who might feel hopeless or too far gone, what would you want them to know about their brain, their body, their ability to heal? What would be a message that you could leave with people that are listening today?
Yeah. I want people, I want anybody that is listening to know that it is not too late.
Yeah,
It is not too late. Start wherever you are.
yeah.
Never, ever give up.
That's my
Ne-
rule. That's my one rule.
Never, never give up.
Yeah.
It's not. And, and the time is now. The time is not now because if not now, I mean, you
Hmm.
are listening to this for a reason. You are listening to this right now for a reason because it is your time.
Yeah.
And the final thing is this, and this page is it. We are sent so many messages that tell us eat this, not that, cut back. It's about the food,
Hmm.
it's about your body, it's about all that. The reality is, before we ever gained a single pound, anything on our bodies, before we gained anything on our bodies, we gained it in our head first. We gained it in
I
our thoughts,
agree.
in our beliefs, in our spirit. We have to
Hmm.
lose it the same way. We
Yeah.
have to lose it a thought at a time, and that comes off in ounces.
Yeah. I
But
agree. It
once,
takes time.
but once we get it out, once we get it out of our head, out of our hearts, out of our spirit, the weight can't wrap around it.
Yeah.
That's the power in getting it on
Hmm.
paper, getting it in community, sharing it, but just get it out. Get it
And
out.
and understanding that it doesn't happen instantaneously. You know, these diet programs that say you're going to lose 2 to 5 pounds a week or whatever. This recovery journey, it's years. I mean, and
It's a
I'm
life.
glad. It is
It's
a
a life.
lifetime. And I don't know about you, but I'm grateful because I don't ever want to reach the finish line because I don't ever want to let the foot off the gas pedal.
Yes.
It's going to
Yes.
look different, but and I work differently, but I don't want to ever stop because I'm continually growing. I just
Yes.
keep editing and making myself better and better and
Yes.
better. So I don't ever want to reach the finish line. This recovery has affected
It's self-discovery.
every area of my life, not
It's
just
self-discovery. It's not, it's
yes.
recovery, self-discovery. It's that, and that's beautiful.
I like to call it discovering your true authentic self because there is no way that you can be your truly authentic self and blossom in every way you can if you're mired in this addiction that has a noose around your neck.
That's true.
So
Absolutely.
it just
Absolutely. That's
there's just
so
so
true.
many opportunities and you don't even have to always start with the food either. If you could start with the trauma, you could start with sleep, you could start with water, you could start with movement, you could start with stress or spirituality. But start start.
It's- the time is now.
Do you want to say the best place for someone if they want to get a hold of you where that would be? And we'll put
Yes.
it in the show notes as well, but go ahead and
Okay.
mention it.
All right. If somebody wants to get in touch with me, the best thing I would recommend is just download a free chapter to my book. You go to leavinglarge.com. You can download a free chapter that'll get you on my mailing list. We'll be connected. If while you're there you feel like you want to buy the book, you can buy it. I'll sign it and send it to you.
Mm,
Leavinglarge.com. Really easy.
I love it.
If you email me, Michelle at michellepettis.com, I answer every email. I am on social media at I am brand new now. Hit me up. I'll respond. But
Nice.
getting once you get on the mailing list with leavinglarge.com with that free chapter, then that puts you in the carousel really for everything else.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. I've enjoyed this so much, but I already knew before we started that I would. Will you come
It's been a
back and
it's
visit
been a
with me
blast.
again? Yeah, I
Yes.
hope you'll come
We can
back sometime.
we can talk about recipes.
Yeah. And then we'll see a squirrel and we'll talk about everything else. And then by the end, we'll come back to the beginning. So I enjoyed it so much. And if you want to find out more about us, you can find us at realfoodrecovery4u.com. That's the number four and the letter U. And our book, The Real Food Recovery, If Food Isn't the Answer, What's the Question, is out on Amazon today. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.